of you guys from my stream.
Stand up.
You're
You're going to be up in a
Sit
minute.
this one. You can't sit with the gameplay that has been blessed to be on your screen so far today.
Unreal. You only need
Okay, chat.
3 fingers
Let's
to
get
count
this.
about a point differential in these first 3 maps.
Good break off from Optic.
Opening first blood goes to Dashy. Shotzzy looking
Good
to push
break.
out the corner off his Semtex. That works. Rencore trying to work with
What's
Super
the
to try to
score?
battle back as his teammates are coming off a spawn, but staggered kills coming through as
Nice.
Dashy is just in the firing range right now.
Really good place from Kyler here, chat. So right here, you get a
Because his
clean
teammates
wave
are coming off
based on your flow. Whoever's the first guy in the flow, he bumping out, using his free life, getting specific information. This is a really, really good example of Optic playing their safety net positions, reacting off the information and trading where necessary, so they're not trying to double die or double scam. And you see the importance of using your free life is when you slide cancel around corners, either teams are playing to pre-aim it, predicting you're going to do it, which then gives you more time on the hill, right? Or teams are so worried about other safety net positions, like these guys, where you just get free kills. When you use that free life and you're playing with confidence, you're playing to win. When you're playing to win, you're catching people sprinting. They're not expecting it. And that's how Kyler's getting 1 kill here, chat.
spawn, but staggered kills coming
Look
through.
at number
as
1 here.
Dashy
Look
is
at
just
Kyler just taking his time in. So now he's using his timing to slide cancel camera Renko, get that 1, and then make that next wave easy to hold for Texas. Because then theoretically, if they just play to trade, they just go 1 for 1. They'll win the wave, keep them spawning out, do it all again.
in the firing range right now, and Hook will force the issue forward.
And this is the
You see right here, by him getting specific information, Dashi has given up gens because he realizes, okay, I've just got 1, and I see the other 2 people right here. Actually, let me get back on my locker room thing. They say, right, I see 2 people. We've just killed 1. I know where everybody is. When you get specific information, then you can play positions when you predict where they're coming from. You play positions where you can guarantee like a kill, slide cancel, however you want to chal it, pre-fire, whatever. It makes everyone useful, and this is how you get efficiency in a hold. It then gives you the best chance of winning the next wave.
perfect break off there for Optic. You're spawning on the preferred side. Dashy locking everything down to the mid-street.
And when you think about it, chat, when you're in these hybrid positions, when you're in these power spots, they're power spots for a reason, because it gives you an overwhelmingly high chance of winning your gunfights. It makes it incredibly hard for these guys to do anything without dying. And so even though, look at them, even though they made kills, when you have power spots, they still have to work for the time. They can't just do anything.
And you win the initial gunfights for at least 13 seconds to start off at this P1, but final 25 seconds, Dashy, the best pistol player I've ever seen.
So this is an example of what Octane was saying, the fact that AR roles aren't necessarily what they were or what they are now compared to what they were. You'll notice that in this wave, Dashi is in a hybrid spot. He's in a power position with his AR. So from a micro perspective, he's playing an AR position, right? He's got specific information on 5. He's got specific information on 8. And I want you guys to do this in ranked. He is playing his AR positions to try and get kills. But then once trades are going down, he's not stationary on his AR position. He's trusting his flow. He's trusting his trades. And he's pushing forward, selfless, playing to die.
Locking everything down to the mid-street.
Look at him. He's the first guy in the flow, right? He's the first guy in this flow, trusting him to watch over, and he's playing aggressive. He's playing to get people weak in order to set up his teammates. This is what we call having a ubiquitous role right here. This is where everyone's doing everything.
And you win the initial gunfights for at
Pulls out
least
his
13
pistol.
seconds to start off at this P1, but final
Setting up number 3 where he
seconds,
can.
Dashy, the best pistol player I've ever seen in this
And
world.
this is
The
your
weapon doesn't
main
even
AR
need to
player right
use
here.
it, With his teammates having his back. Final 15 seconds. They have the rotation that they want for new as
Same
well.
again.
Dashy
in the
needs a
time.
gun. He's already burned through all of his initial AR ammo. Trades back and forth come through, but Optic will bounce back, try
That's
to reset
what
the rotation. If
Octane-
we'll jump over to
that was one of
Elicited
the
to
things
catch
that
the comms with
Octane-
Optic.
That was one of the things that Octane meant when he said AR roles aren't. There ain't necessarily a main AR role anymore. There are still linear situations where you want to use a main AR, but you see situations like that when the game is fast. You just want to be able to trade get up close like it's an
Yo,
SMG.
one's going side yellow, side yellow. He's hitting side yellow.
Yo, I'm in front. I'm one shot. There's two in front of me. There's two. One shot super.
Yellow was. The guy's still yellow. Metal. He's weak. He was really weak yellow. They're spawning on you.
We're in the dub, Yo, in the dub, close car, and then back yellow.
I'm marking the back with you.
When you say he's the first up, does he know that just by watching the kill feed? If it's a noob question, are you talking about Dashi? So what I mean by that is, imagine you look at your minimap and imagine it's a conveyor belt, right? This is in relation to how far people are pushed up on the map in relation to where the enemies are in relation to the objective. Dashi was the furthest pushed out guy. Your role in the flow will dictate your timings, will dictate where you need to be on the map, will dictate what kills you're playing, will dictate what lanes you need to fill. In that situation, so let's break it down for you, Suave. Or Suave.
Mid-street.
So right here, right? In this situation, if we had a conveyor belt like this, this is what we call flow. Your conveyor belt dictates what lanes you pick up and what lanes you will then need to refill based on who has what, okay? He's the first guy, he's the second guy, he's the third guy, he's the last guy. His job is essentially to watch pinch and to keep the game controlled by blocking spawns, right? That's his role. The first guy's role is to get space in relation to the situation, either by taking a long route if they need to break, by using his free life, taking space, playing the first kill of the next wave. That is what number one is doing here, okay?
She is just in the firing range right now.
So right here, number one has done a fantastic job. Suave? Yeah, I'll call you Suave. So he's got one kill, right? They've gone 1 for 1. They've traded. In this conveyor belt, they've gone 1 for 1. They've got trades. When you trade, the advantage is going to be with the defending team, because it's less people to take out power positions and stuff like that, right? It's not like S&D where you want to trade always favors the attack. So right here, they went 1 for 1. So he's dead. Therefore, he's the furthest guy, he's the second, he's the third, and then the last guy will then eventually refill as the fourth guy based on the respawn, right? But then in this situation, 2 can't push out like this because he doesn't have the timing to do so. The timing meaning if you sprinted across the map, how much of the map can you get without getting into a gunfight? He can't take any more space as he can without the fear of dying in a gunfight or getting caught sprinting. So right here, Dashi then gets across to number 2 to trade these guys where that specific information is coming from. So they're trying to play trades. They're trying to go 1 for 1 here, okay? So look at it right here.
Will force the issue forward.
And this is the perfect break off there for Optic. You're spawning on the preferred side. Dashi locking everything down to the mid-street.
So now, right here, Shotzi's died. Shotzi's gone 1 for 1. They've traded. Now it's a 2 versus 2. And so he's the first guy in the flow. In this flow, he's now the first guy. And when you're the first guy in the flow, you're trying to set up the rest of your teammates. And he's putting pressure on 8 and 7 after he's got them weak in order to not only take the gunfight from a micro perspective because they're weak, but also then to set up this guy to help and trade. Rather than sitting and doing nothing, he's getting active on the map. He's putting pressure on the map. That's what we mean by that.
And you win the initial gunfights for at least 13 seconds to start off at this.
So you see that? So 3 and 4 are working together. He is almost playing as the sacrificial lamb to put pressure on the map because he's now the furthest pushed up guy in order to set this guy up. Micro teamwork based on the macro right here.
But final 25 seconds. Dashi, the best pistol player I've ever seen in this world.
It's a weapon.
Doesn't even need to use it, but his teammates having his back. Final 15 seconds. They had the...
Hopefully, Suave, that like answers your question to an extent.
Show me. Yo, one's going side yellow, side yellow. He's hitting side yellow.
Yo, I'm in front. I'm one shot. There's two in front of me. There's two. One shot super.
Yellow was.
Yeah, so the thing with Kicks, Suave, is he never really had experience at the highest level. He never really understood these concepts. That was the issue. Because he's never played in the CDL before, because he's not been introduced to some of these concepts, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You know, I didn't know this as a player. And it changes.
The guy's still yellow, metal. He's weak. He was really weak yellow. They're spawning on you. They're spawning on you.
In the dump. Yo, in the dump, there's a close car. Close car in the back.
I'm marking the back with you. I'm marking the back with you.
John, Brent.
They're still
Okay.
spawning.
Yeah, white crate,
Yo,
one shot.
back right, Brandon.
White crate with one bullet.
Good teamwork from these two.
He's so
Good
weak.
try.
Back to yellow. He's so weak.
Yeah, dead. Another one blue.
Back to yellow.
Just holding for a sec.
Okay, Rancor is blue side done. Nice, good up,
Another one here.
That's why you're the goal for showing. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Means a lot.
They're still spawning there. They're still
Yeah,
spawning.
he's in the dump.
Making blue.
I need the
Making
dump.
blue.
We target.
They might have spawned.
Appreciate you, JD. Hey, I wish I knew these when I competed. I'll be the best player in the world if I did.
The guy's dump. He's not challenged. He's not challenged.
Yo, make sure you hold this, Brandon.
One blue.
One.
Right, chat. Okay, chat. What are we trying to do in 10 seconds left of a hill? Right here, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to do? Guys, what are we trying to do in this situation? Go for new, hold the rotation. So what is the first guy's responsibility?
Yo, make sure you hold this, Brandon.
One blue.
In this situation, what are we trying to do? Yep, spawn the back P2 good. Go for new, hold the rotation, and set up for power spots. Yeah, so essentially, in this case, based on where you're spawning, ideally, Suave, you want the first guy to be picking up the long routes. Ideally, you want the first guy to be picking it up, and then you refill as necessary. But in this situation, he's denying anyone pushing through. So that way, you can keep spawning in, and you spawn them out. And then they're just shifting across, playing power positions, and holding P1 in order to set up new. It's the same thing with the Skyline, guys. Having a game plan, having a system, understanding what lanes you need to pick up in relation to the rotation, and then adapting and using teamwork is how you then secure these rotations. Have a system, understand, okay, this is the idea we have, and then once you get specific information with the trades, with the team shots, then you can adapt.
One. Yo, pick up the right. I have mid. Yeah, he's on me hole. He's on me hole.
He's still
He's
there.
8 me.
Metal settled.
I don't see him.
What's in
He's here.
First guy's blue.
Watch out mid.
So I actually want to say this is really good, right? This is a good way to illustrate what I'm saying. So when you're rotating, guys, your game plan is to try and refill P1. So you want to get this position first in order to deny anyone burger, get info, and then you want to play for P1. So Optic do a really good job of doing that initially. And this is what I mean by having a system, by having a game plan, by understanding what you need to fill and where you need to fill in the moment. Right, chat? So look at this situation here.
Yo, pick up the right. I have mid.
When you're the furthest guy in this situation, your job is to pick up the furthest lane or the quickest lane to the new time. So people can't just run it down, people can't get through, and it gives you specific information for the rest of the team, right? So that's where 3 is doing. Then, as part of your system, as part of your game plan, you want to refill the next relevant lane in accordance to how you want to hold it. So right here, the key to P3 is holding P1. You deny them pushing through and flipping you, and you're in a position where once P3 pops and you get a wave and you spawn a back P2 and you keep on spawning back burger, you're in a kill box situation, right? But this is an example of a team having a system and then adapting from that system with the information you're getting specifically. So right here, chat.
Yeah, he's on me hole.
Is number 3, Mason, has gone to pick up P3 and deny any timings across, right? But then he's abandoning that in order to trade and help based on number 6 and number 1. Funny situation here that Mason doesn't see him, but like the intention is there. Sometimes it happens. This is an example of you do the right play, you have the right intention, and sometimes that's Call of Duty at the end of the day.
Metal settled.
I don't see him.
What's in blue? First guy's blue.
Watch out mid.
Right? And then there you go.
I don't know. P1's
mid and one's P2.
We spawn out.
Yeah.
You gotta kill that mid. On me time? Yeah, he might time medals. That's him. In the dump and diner.
Okay, look at this. The way Shotzi is moving was insane to me, crazy to me. Look at him. He's buying time, playing his life.
He's in diner.
Heretics doing a good job just leaving him.
We're spawning.
Watch out mid door. He's P1.
Oh my god, how is he still alive?
Moments of heroic efforts over towards the backside of P2, but the rotation stifled as Heretics really start to awaken now.
And now they're just trapping everybody else. They're not putting any focus on Shotzi. It's fine. You can stay alive on that side of the map. We've been able to soak up already 35 seconds.
And he gets another kill.
All this
And he gets another kill.
time on. Now the spawns flip. If you are Optic, you can flood your way back on in to try to contest this and not give up this full 60, but everyone falls at the wrong time. You gotta get aggressive if you're Heretics to block the spawns, but they don't. And now Optic still have a chance here at P4.
But they're fighting with their backs up against the wall. Riel finds an opener outside street and is still taking a couple shots. All those Elder Boys, but Super, little Omni movement showcase, gets shut down, leaving Riel essentially by himself, but Super spawns up. Oh my goodness. Optic don't get the...
Damn, chat. Hold on. All right, chat.
But they don't. One falls. Optic, you can flood your way back on in to try to contest this and not give up this full 60, but everyone falls at the wrong time. You gotta get aggressive if you're Heretics to block the spawns, but they don't. And now Optic still have a chance here at P4.
But they're fighting with,
with
their backs up against the...
So you look at the way Heretics are playing it. They're trying to pinch from all lanes, and Optic are trying to get out towards the left. They're trying to control this area to funnel them through. Play soft on one side, and then you play hard on the other. Interesting right here. Okay. I like the way Super's playing it here.
Riel finds an opener.
They're helping each other take fights. Play your guarantees. You don't have numbers.
P4. But they're fighting with their backs up against the wall. Riel finds an opener outside street and is still taking a couple shots. All those Elder Boys,
huge two-piece.
Super, little Omni movement showcase, gets shut.
That was really, really unfortunate. Who died at the back? So Dashi dies at the back. How does Dashi die at the back?
All those Elder Boys, but Super.
Oh my god. Chat, he kill traded. He kill trades. So he ended up kill trading number 5. But he kills him first, so his bullet hit first. Like, imagine he stays alive there. They're spawning out back here. Oh my god.
Little Omni movement showcase gets shut down, leaving Riel.
You see what I'm saying? They would have spawned here. 6 would have spawned here. 4 would have been still alive. And they would have then isolated number 8 right here, chat.
Essentially by himself, but Super spawns up. Oh,
that was so unfortunate.
Optic,
and this all stems from a kill trade.
Staying around the hard point, leaving Mercules as the sole defender of the hill. But he's got himself a pretty decent position. Trades are awesome for the side of Optic.
And they still somehow bail themselves out.
Riel still spawns close. Shotzzy doesn't expect it. And now it's just down to how long can Riel stay alive.
Stuns. Good stuns from Riel.
Mercules, you cannot leave this guy here because your teammate is now going to spawn all the way across the map. Shotzi's giving you info. There's pressure through the mid side.
Wow.
And Mercules wins a big
oh my god, this is so mixy.
Finds a second, but the pitch is good enough for a slight break for the Heretics.
Tug of war back and forth 50-50 as
Bloody hell, this is so mixy.
War. 18 seconds of scrap. Shotzzy thinking about it, but backing away as Optic looked like they're going to chalk and rotate this over to P5.
Gotta give up this final 15.
So this is how teams evolve going into P5. On some hills, and this is JG, this is to your question earlier, like some hills are going to be more beneficial depending on the weapon that you have. Depending on whether it's a close hill, depending on how the trades go, the gunfights go, you get like a natural flow and a natural affinity to like how some hills work. And this is a situation where teams end up pulling like 3 SMGs, 4 SMGs out just to keep it simple and trade and bang. And this is an example where you need to pull out a weapon conducive to the hill to give yourself the advantage. This is the hill where you won't run 4 ARs because it goes against the advantage of using an assault rifle, right? This is the hill where, because of the gunfights that you have, the trades that you have, and the nature of the hill and the speed of the hill, you will play super, super fast. And that's why you want an SMG.
In towards the gens.
My issue is I end up being the last one alive on a hill, don't realize it until I'm shot from D. Yeah, solo Q hell.
Always find your trades. Heretics currently up
by
50. They are filling themselves. Let's go for a listening. A Bravia listening with the Heretics.
Tengo el patio pins, Joe.
Voy a entrar, está una bala en punto.
Tengo patio pins.
Tiro punto. Tiro también. Muerto.
3 subs, even 4 subs. So, JG, we were one of the first teams on Vault Control to run 3 SMGs on attack and 4 SMGs on defense. Because we recognized early on, and we were one of the best Vault Control teams in the game early on, is that with mid pressure, if you continuously had flow through mid and you're playing pace from mid and you're cutting from middle, you can get away with SMGs to then get to their side. Then if you spawned out last or third, then you pull out an AR to pick up the side lanes. We did the same on CeeLo Control. We did the same on like last year's Control. It's just understanding the situations you're in and being creative and innovative. It's like right here, this is why you see Brandon right here is another example of an AR player pulling out an SMG because of the natural flow of a hill, because of the natural progression of the hill, because of the natural gunfights of the hill. This is a hill that naturally, based on how it is, forcing SMG gunfights. And if you're forcing SMG gunfights, well, you want to make sure you're having more SMGs in that flow. Even Super using an SMG here. So 3 SMGs, you know? And then if you're trusting the flow and you're playing with speed, look at Mercules with an SMG. You're trusting the flow, playing with speed with SMGs. You have the advantage and you utilize the SMGs. But then you have your AR players who then... This is almost to what Octane was saying, is this is almost like a paradox. Where yes, the rules are ubiquitous, everyone's doing their own thing. But when you have a situation like this, when you have a hill with more SMG players, or let's say with 3 SMGs, you have more SMGs, so you're banging out hills, right? But then also on hills like that, your ARs are going to be in an AR lane or an AR position more often than not, right? So picking up pre-aiming aside or pre-aiming outer, right, on both sides, and then banging through time where necessary. So it goes hand in hand where you will have your ARs in natural AR positions, but then also they'll have the tendency to pull another SMG out because of the nature of the hill. Long-winded, yapping, but you get the idea. Just to reiterate the point. Just keep hitting with an SMG, keep hitting. Good hill. Okay, good hold from Texas here. Good wave. Now look at number 2 with the free life. 4's just going to spawn up, refill where necessary. Get the first kill of the next wave, and then you can play the trade. Look at number 2 using his free life. Good shit from Ant. Doesn't matter, he's going to spawn up close. He gets specific information. The team's going to refill based on that. He's just going to refill where necessary. I mean, good job from Miami there, but you get the idea. If they win 1 kill, maybe 1 trade, they'll be all right.
Ramp at 18 and 10 so far.
He's destroying in these hardpoint. It's still a 50-point difference. And now Optic are playing from the back foot. Spawns flip. Heretics just trying to keep away, and Real with the reaction gets the better of Shotzi. But now.
And one thing that Optic are doing really well is the fact that the way they take their fights, they're doing it tight. They're doing it together. It's just understanding in the moment, okay, where is the info coming from? Where's the red dot? How can we fight together?
It's the second gunfight.
If you have progression, keep it simple and ape. When you don't have progression, then you can take routes.
That's the most important. You don't want to give up this time. You don't want to die in this situation, because then you're going to spawn all the way across the map.
Rancor able to find one to keep the hard point open for a time being. But you can see the play for Heretics. Playing the long game, rotating over to P2.
So right here, you just wait for each other. One of them's going to spawn out here.
Timing here of the nade. Metals doesn't see him laying prone.
And now this is where you ape. This is where you keep it stupid simple. You play the information, you pick up your lanes, and you trust the flow. AR, SMG, it doesn't matter. This is a situation where you have numbers. You get the first kill. You know he's going to spawn out. You ape something together to try and spawn him out. You're playing to block the back once P2 pops, and you're just trying to trade. This is a very trade-heavy game. This is why pace is everything on this game. This is why speed is king. You have to just play fast. You have to play trades. And when you play fast, you can punish one-shots. You can stun people. You can nade people. You can bait people out. You're very fast with the slides. You can drag aim assist. You can make it feel like you are everywhere on the map. And Optic showing you a good example of what it looks like to trade. Somehow turns on him. Why do you think they couldn't do this with the same team that won champs last year? I think it was a conflict in ideologies. I think it was a conflict in ideologies and the pacing of the team. If I remember correctly, and please don't don't hold me on this, but I think I saw somewhere the fact that there was just a conflict on how they wanted to play, how they wanted to look at things. I think teams who are super fundamental on this year's game get punished because of the pace of the game. This is where if you want to win, you need to give up being rigid, give up being stubborn, and do what's necessary for the year and the game, innovate, change things up, and you see that teams who are playing fast, who are playing with almost like efficiency and a lack of structure per se in some situations, and a fear of like no fear of dying and being selfless, are very good on Respawn this year.
For a double.
If you try and play too structured, you're
flip the spawns around the shots to get information on
so bad on this game.
Oh, mercy! How about that for Optic? A chance to take their lead.
And I'm thinking of what happened yesterday, just like champs. Optic starting to rally their way
Wow.
back on in. The second half of the game is totally different than the first. But
Huge
as I
P2
say
from
that, three
Shotzi
go
here.
down. You still have players that at least get the close spawn, but Meadows and Real combined for 4. They flip them out, and this 30 seconds is looking like it's going to be theirs.
What a counter break for Heretics.
We call it trusting the flow.
Hercules,
Follow.
decent damage.
It's just about
Hoping
trusting
for
the
a
flow on
second,
this game.
Not going to be able to finish
Next
it
year's
off
gonna
with
be the same.
Ashton, who can still give this a bit of an exit effort. Or can they? Heretics standing tall in the hard point. Hook forced to try to step forward. Shotzi just trying to contest everything. And apparently lightning strikes twice. Oh, don't do it to him. The stun comes out. Does he have the ammunition?
Bloody hell.
Burst it into Mars, but as we look back to orbit over to P3, it's going to
Nice,
be
good kill from Brandon here.
With a big one-on-one gunfight.
P1 control.
Back. A 20
Let the game come to you.
All of the Heretics
3 has a free
trying to
life.
find their way
That's
in
fine.
towards this hard point, but you got players pushed out on angles you're not expecting. Shotzi all the way
Huge.
up to Burger, lines up another
Now,
double.
Ant can do whatever he wants. Look at Ant using his free life. This is a good example of using the free life here.
Doesn't matter. We basically have a tied one.
This is Shotzi saying, I'll do it my damn self. 155 to 155.
Because then he spawns up and re-picks up whatever you need to. Play tight, play the wave, then go out and do what you need to. That's how you use your free life to be efficient and get time. Oh, good flip.
Oh, and this is
He needs to
a
move.
very crucial moment in the
Jose
game.
needs to move here.
Heretics gonna lock in this final 15.
Good. There you go.
And you're forcing all of Optic now.
Get across, they'll spawn in, refill where needed.
Shotzi, it's
You can
all
play a high line when you have
very
progression on time.
to potentially find an opening. You get the player off hold. Now Shotzi needs to get one.
Oh my god, how is he still alive?
Trophy system in place.
How is he still alive?
Just do whatever he wants. Turn for Hook good. Optic will flip the sport.
What is the best way to break P4 on this map? One person here, one guy here, double here, and based on wherever you get your kills, based on wherever you get people weak, based on wherever you think they are stacking, you hit the other side. So if I know there's about 3 people here, boom, we do this. If I know there's about 3 people here, boom, you do this. And it's just about getting towards the back and collapsing. These guys are just trying to get people weak and trying to get information specific to then break.
Again, and they'll bounce back and retake the lead once more.
Now you have to set up properly. 2 ARs through the middle of the map. One person watching the pitch.
So look how long, if you play these power positions, just look how long you can stay alive if you play these power positions, but it's up to these guys to then activate off that. Whatever you hear one-shot calls, wherever you get people stunned, naded, these guys are going to be the ones breaking the hill. And because now you're pushing past, you're blocking both sides, you're going to spawn them out based on where you are in relation to that. So like maybe here.
They're going trade for trade. The nuke is able to find 2, but Rancor eliminates Shotzi from the objective. It does not matter though because the close spawns for Optic allow them to instantly hop back in.
Nice.
Looking to finish off Metals. Toe tap
Good
with the
kill.
pistol will work. First significant
Look at the
lead
flow
for
here.
Optic
Look at
in a
Brandon
while.
pushing out,
But Heretics
putting pace.
aren't done yet. Hook putting him in their
Nice,
place.
look at him.
Follow-up. Good.
And this is another example. I just want to show you another example of. So let's look at it right here, okay? And again, this is. I want to show you another example of what Octane was saying. The fact that you don't necessarily have a main AR role or a very super slow main AR on this game because it's about being efficient with your kills, trading the right areas, and trusting the flow. So look right here, guys.
Nuke is able to find 2, but Rancor eliminates Shotzi
Right
from
here,
the objective.
36 seconds.
Does not matter though because the close.
They get it's 34 seconds. They get 3 kills, right? They get 3 kills, 3 for 0, right? It's a 4 versus 1, and from a flow perspective, look at Dashi. He's their quote unquote main AR on the team. But look at this situation. He's the first guy getting space. He's the first guy bumping. He's not going backwards or playing a position to iron. He's in a position where he might be the quote-unquote main AR, but he's pushing out to get space as a first guy, use his free life, get specific information, try and get the first kill of the next wave, try and get a good spot to do all of that, regardless of what you think about him. And it doesn't matter who's in this situation, they will all do the same thing.
For Optic, allowed him to instantly hop back
Look at him pushing out here, playing to kill here, and he's still out. He's still getting space. He's still trying to take Charles. Now, you could argue, yes, sure, he could go out courtyard, whatever, but the idea is he's not playing super stiff or super static. He's trusting the flow. He's the first guy in the flow. He's got crossfires with number one. And look how annoying this is. Now at 20 seconds, he's pushing out, taking Charles. Now he's going, right? Look at him going.
To the contest fest at P5. Heretics last time.
He's not just sat in one place for an extended period of time, or the entire hill, or default into that spot like you would say on World War II, right? No, he's pushing out. He's doing what he needs to do in the moment in relation to the entire chessboard.
Really couldn't make up in a difference. It was a 50-point lead when they left P4. It was a 50-point lead when they left P5. You need a good chunk of time here. You need to find kills and chain.
Long route from Shotzi, but he has an AR.
Nice. Let's see how they break this.
As again, it felt like all of Optic were running the AMS right now. Hook's got an SMG out. Shotzi will pull one as he comes back off the respawn. Mercury's in the corner, able to find one. A little bit
good break. This should be a good break. Ah, that would have been such a good break right here.
Off the reload. No, doesn't fully reset it. Shotzi takes over.
What the fuck?
Again. Mercy.
Hold on. Right, I want to see this break, chat.
Good chunk of time before it was a 50-point.
So chat, right? So it's I agree and I disagree to an extent. A lot of it is going to be down to the time to kill of the game. A lot of it is going to be down to the mechanics of the game. A lot of it is going to be down to the movement of the game. The reason why this year is fast is because Omni movement allows it to be fast. The spawn system allows it to be fast. The maps allow it to be quick. When you have a quick game, it's less about strategy and more about keeping it stupid simple. If we went back to World War II, when the weapons had a clear pros and cons, when an AR had pros to using an AR, it had an advantage, it had a disadvantage, where SMGs had an advantage and a disadvantage, where there was actual clarity in the weapons that you used, then you'll have more definitive rules. Then you'll have more ARs going into AR positions because of the nature of the game. Now, to your point, Suave, I do agree. I think every single year from a strategy perspective, the games get quicker and quicker because players get better and better. Because there's more experience on how you want to play. Because teams are more selfless. Because teams are trusting the flow more. I think a lot of it is going to be based on the actual game itself, which is going to determine how useful an AR or an SMG is. If you play a game where an AR can't do anything up close range, either you pull out your pistol or you're going to be playing more AR positions during that wave. I think right now the reason why you're having a reduction in the AR role or AR power spot or positioning doesn't mean so much in recent games is simply because of the nature of the games we're playing. Because the weapons do everything. Because you don't get punished for positioning or errors in decision making. Because an AR and an SMG, the rules are blurred. Because you get bailed out using either weapon for mispositioning. That's why, in my opinion. But would that minimize the skill gaps? No. I think if you had weapons that had clear, consistent rules, I think that would increase the skill gap. I think having a lower time to kill game would increase the skill gap. I think having recall and all these different mechanics would increase the skill gap. I just think right now every gun lasers and there's no clear definition of what a weapon does.
Lead when they left P5. You need a good chunk of time here. You need to find kills and chain.
Long route from Shotzi, but he has an AR. Has to be careful with this.
I want to see how they broke this.
But he has an AR.
Good chunk of time here. You need. It was a 5th last time. Really couldn't make up in a difference. It was a 50-point lead when they left P4. It was a 50-point lead when they left P5. You need a good chunk of time here. You need to find kills and chain.
Long route from Shotzi, but he has an AR.
This is such a good break from Optic, and I want to show you guys this. Okay, so let's look at this break. Look at the first guy on the break, right? He's taking a long route. The reason why they're taking a long route, chat, is because they've not made any kills. They're using anticipation and process of elimination. They understand, okay, Heretics are going to be set up around P1, around P5, around 18. They don't know where exactly without specific information except from him and him. But you're predicting, okay, where are they going to be? How are they going to be set up? So he's taking a long route to get more specific information to basically spread the angles of attacks to then open up timings for this guy, and eventually bring up this guy into the play. Unless they make kills in this situation, okay? And then look at this right here. So what you want to do, he ends up dying. And he is waiting. He is just trying to play the trade. He is waiting. He's not pushing up forward, being super aggressive. He's waiting for this guy to come into the play, and he's waiting for this guy to get into the play. The significance about what number 2 does is instead of committing, he sees this guy. This guy has to turn around and tweak for his pinch. He will then re-pinch through middle, make him useless. And when you're breaking a hill, chat, you want to make it feel like you are everywhere on the map, right? That's how you break a hill. So 7 is tweaking. He's then re-wrapping to middle. And look how they break this. So he's constantly tweaking about the pinch. He's then taking a complementary route to 1 and 4 to try and at least help in the trades, and 3 is now taking the pinch. He dies, which is okay, whatever. But then look at them two. Look at number 1, refilling through middle. Look at 4, then refilling through time. 2 versus 1. He comes off spawn close, and they end up getting the trade. And understanding this is why you want to take a long route to even set up the play in the first place. Understand via process of elimination and prediction where the enemies are going to be. And once you are ready to set up the break, set up the Charles, you collapse at the same time, you spawn close in the next wave. That's how you then win the trade wars.
No, doesn't fully reset it. Shotzi takes over once again.
Not again.
Mercy, someone put this guy down.
And because now he's past the hill, he's spawning him deep, which then affects the next wave and the next trade, because now it takes him more time in the trades to get involved.
And you already have a player working on the pitch. You got to slow it down if you're the Heretics.
Heretics are in some major trouble.
Wow.
Hercules showing force over towards the RV. Still in the hard point is Optic. Cannot win here, but boy, can they get close.
Look at that. Now they're just constantly trading out. SMG's out, constantly trading.
Not able to take down either member, though, from the Heretics. And now we take our focus back over to P1 with Hercules playing through the exit. Looking for everything, but Metals will back down.
They only need 14 seconds.
Let the game come to you.
Last hoorah push, and then this gunfight goes to Dashy.
Hercules backs away. Optic still in the hard point. Here comes the final approach.
Wow.
Hercules finds the first shutdown.
GG's.
Gonna find a way to get in. You want him at 5? Let's go again.
Damn.
It doesn't matter how much Optic are down on rewind HP.
Right. Let me just go back on a couple situations.
It's gonna be. You need the point from yet. The map right. Oh, burst all in the hard point.
So right here,
does he have the ammunition? Whoa.
huge one-on-one from Bruce here, from Dashy here.
Back to orbit over to P3. It's going to be Optic who get there first.
Dashy with a big one-on-one gunfight to secure the back. A 20-point difference. All of the Heretics trying to find their way in towards this hard point, but you got
huge kill from Shotzi here. Shotzi gets the second.
All the way up through Burger, lines up.
This is really good adapting from Optic here. Adapting in the situation, understand where they're spawning, understand what you need to do, where you need to go.
I'll do it my damn self. 155 to 155. Heretics a bit split on the map right now, putting some focus on the hard point while also trying to get some rotational damage done. 2 kills come through, vacant 3, that's all 4 dead.
So right here, I thought Heretics were going to run away with it.
Oh, and this is a very crucial moment in the game. Heretics
huge.
Gonna lock in this final 15, and you're forcing all of
that is such a huge kill from Shotzi here. At least now, because they get progression. They're still going to spawn in, but it gives them progression to get out and do something. That, so right here, in my opinion, was the defining factor in the game, okay? So I don't mind super bumping out and trying to get information early. I don't mind that at all, right? But the fact that Shotzi then like stabs him, kills him with a knife. If Super kills number 2 here, They spawn in at the back. They're only looking for one. 10 seconds left. They're in prime position to win this game. The fact that Shotzi kills Super knows, okay, he's going to be getting through, but then takes the timing and holds progression for his team to run forward, ends up winning Optic the game. This right here was the key breakdown.
Shotzi, it's on you. The player in courtyard to potentially find an opening. You get the player.
This was insane.
Shotzi needs to get one.
This was insane.
Trophy system in place, but
oh my God,
is just doing whatever he wants.
So this right here, look. Key breakdown right here. They're in such a disadvantageous position. Super is in a position where if he gets one, they're going to win rotation for new. Super ends up getting stabbed by Shotzi. They know Super is going to spawn back here. They know where Shotzi potentially is going to be. Takes his time, and Hugh gets one. Continues to keep on running. Takes his timing through here without waiting. This is what we call, this is playing to win right here. He takes his timing even though he could die, even though number 5 could pick it up. Threads the needle through, kills one. Ends up then killing the second guy. Gets one. Kills Super. Challenges 5. Gets 2. And that was from the call out from Merc, right? Which then leaves these guys in a 2v1 position at the back. They trade him, and Merc has a free life. This has gone from potentially Miami getting 60 seconds to Optic winning the game from here. All that from one play. A disadvantage into an advantage.
Now you have to set up properly.
And now they're taking fights together.
One person watching the pitch. They're going trade for trade.
Look at him. He's getting active on the point, even though if it means he dies to try and help. And this is how they then snowball the game. Look at it.
Because the close spawns for Optic allowed him to instantly hop back in.
Pook looking to finish off medals. Toe taps with the pistol will work.
And now they get basically the last 20 seconds, and then it puts them in a prime position to break a P5 because it's so hard to rotate and play a wave on P5 when teams are taking rounds. Wow.
This is all their time. Now you're going to the contest fest at P5. Heretics last time really couldn't make up in a difference. It was a 50-point lead when they left.
And then that's how they start taking routes. And when you start taking routes on a team that turtle up, it's so hard to hold.
Long route from Shotzi, but he has an AR. Has to be careful with this, as again, it felt like all of Optic were running the AMS right now. Hook's got an SMG out. Shotzi will pull one as he comes back off the respawn. Mercules in the corner, able to find one. A little bit of damage under Rencore. Hook trying to follow off of that.
Insane, look at that chat. Insane.
Dashy inside, not able to tally Rencore, who's good for 3 off the reload. No, doesn't fully reset it. Shotzi takes over once again.
About to get a third, but then he gets team killed.
It's the last guy in the hardpoint for the Heretics. It's going to be Metals. He's going to fall. So Optic now have the spawns that they want.
They look at number 1 taking the route. Use this free life. Now it feels like they're everywhere on the map. So look at the importance of number 1 here. He's watching mid. They're so worried about him, so they can't reliably chow without worrying about Elephant.
Still in the hard point is Optic. Cannot win here, but boy, can they get close. Nade for Super connects.
Look at them challenging crossfires in the hill. Take fights together. Look at how they take fights together. It doesn't matter that they die. This is selflessness. This is what pro players are good at. Even Heretics are unreal at this. Play with selflessness.
14 seconds. Heretics have one last hoorah push, and then this gunfight goes to Dashy.
Mercules backs away.
Wow.
Optic still in the hard point. Here comes the final approach.
He gets that kill to win the map.
Super's got to find a way to get in. You want him out.
Damn. All right, chat. We have about 20 minutes. Is there a map you guys want to watch outside of this? To the taking routes versus turtling point, if my team is on the hill and not taking space, is it better to stick close to the team for trades or go rogue and use my free life? So the only time you want to use your free life is if a wave is clean. The